Hi, I'm Greta. For 10 years, I've been married to Marcus, the self proclaimed fishing enthusiast who spends every other weekend on Lake Evergreen with his buddies. At least that's what I thought until last Saturday. Morning sunshine? Ready for another thrilling weekend of freedom? My friend Diane laughed as she handed me coffee at our usual Saturday brunch spot. Freedom? Please. I'll be reorganizing the garage while Marcus catches nothing but a sunburn, I replied, stirring my latte absent-mindedly. Diane tilted her head. You know, I've always wondered why you never join him. 10 years and not once? He says I'd hate it. The smell, the waiting, the guy talk. I shrugged. Besides, he's with Tom and Rick. It's their thing. Funny, Diane said, studying her phone. Emily just posted from her lakeside cottage. Guess who's not there fishing? She turned her screen toward me. There was Lake Evergreen, peaceful and empty. No boats, no Marcus. Maybe they're on the other side, I suggested, that first flutter of unease building in my chest. The lake's not that big, Greta, and Emily's caption says, perfect view of the entire lake this morning. I'm sure there's an explanation, I mumbled. But I was already pulling out my phone, opening the Find My Friends app Marcus had forgotten was active. He's not at the lake. He's at the marina. The river marina, not the lake. Diane's eyebrows shot up. The fancy one? With the expensive boats and yacht club? Yeah. I stared at the little dot. The one he always said was full of pretentious jerks. Call him, Diane urged. I shook my head. No, I think I'll surprise him instead. Greta, are you sure that's... I need to see for myself. An hour later, I parked at Rivercrest Marina, my heart pounding as I followed the map on my phone. The dot led me to slip 47, where a sleek white boat bobbed gently in the water. The name Weekend Escape was painted in elegant blue script on its side. Can I help you, ma'am? A young attendant approached with a clipboard. I'm looking for my husband. Marcus Winters? The attendant brightened. Oh, Mr. Winters. Yes, he's aboard the Weekend Escape. Would you like me to call up to him? No, I said quickly. I'd like to surprise him. Of course. Just head down that dock and it's the third from the end. Mrs. Winters, right? I nodded, my mouth dry. He's entertaining today. Said his wife was coming later with the food. That must be you. Yes, I lied. That's me. As I walked down the dock, my steps slowed. Entertaining? Who was Marcus entertaining on a boat I didn't know existed? I heard laughter, a woman's laughter, floating from the deck. I climbed aboard quietly, following the sound to the main cabin. Through the window, I saw Marcus pouring champagne for a stunning redhead in a bikini. They were laughing, comfortable, intimate. So, when does your fishing trip officially end? She asked, accepting the glass. Marcus grinned. Monday morning, same as always. The wife never questions it. 10 years of fishing trips, the woman said, making air quotes. You should buy her a trophy for most gullible spouse. They laughed again, and something inside me shattered. You forgot the ice, I said, stepping into the cabin. Their heads whipped toward me, champagne sloshing over the woman's hand. Greta, Marcus gasped, his face draining of color. What are you doing here? I finished for him. Apparently ruining your decade-long deception. Greta, I can explain, Marcus stammered, setting down his glass with a shaking hand. Who's she? The redhead demanded, pulling a cover-up over her bikini. I'm the wife, I said, my voice surprisingly steady. The gullible one. The woman's eyes widened. The wife? Marcus, you said you were separated. He lied, I replied. That's apparently his specialty. I should go, she muttered, gathering her things. No, stay, I said. I'd love to hear how long this has been going on. This isn't what you think, Marcus insisted, stepping between us. Amber's just a friend. Amber snorted. Right. A friend you've been sleeping with for 2 years? My stomach lurched. 2 years? Amber, shut up, Marcus hissed. Why should I? She snapped. You told me your marriage was over in all but paperwork. I laughed bitterly. That's news to me. I'm out of here, Amber announced, pushing past Marcus. Good luck with your fishing trips from now on. After she stormed out, Marcus collapsed onto the leather seat. Greta, please sit down. Let's talk about this like adults. Like adults? You've been lying to me for years. Not years, he protested weakly. Amber exaggerated. So how long then? And who paid for this boat? Our boat? I gestured around the luxury cabin that must have cost a fortune. Marcus winced. It's complicated. I pulled out my phone and started taking pictures. What are you doing? He demanded. Documenting, I replied coldly. Back on shore, I called the one person I knew would help, my brother Michael, an accountant. You need to figure out where the money came from, Michael advised after I explained everything. If he bought that boat with joint funds, we're talking serious financial deception. The next day, we met at his office where he'd already pulled records. He's been moving money into a separate account for years, Michael explained, spreading statements across his desk. Small amounts, nothing you'd notice. How much? I asked. Around $300,000 total. I felt sick. That's our retirement savings. Not just that, Michael continued, his expression grim. The boat's registered to a shell company. And there's evidence he's been entertaining multiple women, not just this Amber. Receipts for jewelry, weekend getaways. I need to talk to Tom and Rick, I decided. They must have covered for him. Tom was evasive when I called, but his wife Janine was furious when I told her why I was asking questions. He did what? She exclaimed. Tom swore those fishing trips were real. They weren't, I said flatly. That explains why he never brings home any fish, she muttered. Tom! She shouted. I heard shuffling, then Tom's nervous voice came on the line. Greta, look, I just did what Marcus asked. You lied to my face for years, I cut in. Every time you came to dinner and talked about those fake fishing trips. He's my friend, Tom said defensively. And it's not like he was hurting anyone. Janine's voice cut through in the background. Are you kidding me right now, Tom? He was stealing from me, I said coldly. And betraying our marriage? I didn't know about any stealing, Tom protested. I just thought that helping him cheat was fine. Tell me everything, Tom, now. By the time I hung up, I had names, dates, and details of Marcus's elaborate deception. Rick sang like a canary too when I confronted him, afraid I'd tell his fiancée. I need a lawyer, I told Michael that evening, and I know exactly what I'm going to do. I waited a full week before confronting Marcus. A week of him sleeping in the guest room, of strained silence and pathetic attempts at reconciliation. A week of me gathering evidence, consulting with lawyers, and formulating my plan. We need to talk, I announced, walking into the living room where he was pretending to work. Marcus looked up eagerly. Yes, please, Greta, I've been waiting for this conversation. Not here, I said flatly. At the marina. On your boat. His face fell. Is that really necessary? Absolutely. 4 o'clock. Don't be late. When Marcus arrived at the weekend escape, I was already there, seated at the table in the main cabin. So were Michael, my lawyer Patricia, and a financial investigator. What is this? Marcus demanded, stopping short at the sight of our audience. This is a conversation about consequences, I replied calmly. Sit down. I'm not discussing our marriage with all these people, he protested. This isn't about our marriage. That's over. This is about the money you stole. Marcus paled. I didn't steal anything. Everything I earned. Save it, Patricia interrupted, sliding a folder across the table. We've documented transfers of $312,750 from joint accounts to your private LLC, which purchased this vessel and funded numerous extramarital activities. You had no right to look into my private affairs, Marcus shouted. They stopped being private when you used our money, I countered. Money for our future, Marcus, for the family we planned to have. I was going to pay it back, he insisted. This was just... I needed something for myself. Something? Or someone? I asked coldly. Or should I say someone's? We know about Amber, and Jessica, and Tara. His eyes widened. Who told you? Your buddies rolled over pretty quickly when faced with their own divorces, Michael supplied with a grim smile. You turned my friends against me? Marcus sputtered. You did that yourself when you made them accomplices, I replied. Marcus's shoulders slumped. Greta, please. I made mistakes. Terrible mistakes. But we can work through this. 10 years of marriage has to count for something. It counted for nothing to you when you were on this boat with other women, I said. I'm sorry, he whispered, reaching for my hand. I'm truly sorry. I'll do anything to make this right. I pulled away. It's too late for apologies. What do you want? Money? The boat? Take it all. I just want another chance. What I want, I said slowly, is for you to face what you've done. Not just to me, but to our future. Here are your options, Patricia interjected. Option 1. We take this evidence to the district attorney and file charges for financial fraud. Or option 2. You sign these papers. She slid another folder toward him. Marcus opened it with trembling hands. This is everything? He asked, scanning the divorce agreement. The house goes to Greta. The boat will be sold and proceeds returned to the joint account. You'll repay the full amount diverted, plus interest. This will ruin me, he protested. Should have thought of that during your first fake fishing trip, Michael muttered. Marcus's face darkened. This is extortion. No, I corrected him. It's justice. You'll never get away with this, he growled, standing suddenly. I'll fight you every step of the way. He swept his arm across the table, sending papers flying, then grabbed my wrist hard enough to bruise. Let go of her, Michael warned, standing. This is between me and my wife, Marcus snarled. The financial investigator quietly pressed a button on his phone, recording. You're hurting me, I said calmly, and you're making this much worse for yourself. You think you can just throw me away? After everything I've done for you? Marcus shouted, his grip tightening. Let her go! Michael stepped forward. Or what? Marcus challenged, yanking me closer. Or assault charges get added to the fraud, Patricia said, her voice steel. Nobody would believe I assaulted her, Marcus scoffed. I looked pointedly at the investigator's phone. They will with video evidence. All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Myers presiding. I stood beside Patricia as Marcus and his lawyer entered from the other side of the courtroom. 3 months had passed since the confrontation on the boat, months of legal maneuvering and failed settlement attempts. How are you holding up? Patricia whispered. Ready for this to be over, I replied. The judge entered and we all sat down. What followed was a clinical dissection of our marriage and Marcus's betrayal, financial records, witness testimonies, the video of his assault. Through it all, Marcus stared straight ahead, jaw clenched. When the judge ruled entirely in my favor, I felt nothing but exhaustion. Outside the courtroom, Marcus approached as I was speaking with Michael. Greta, can we talk? Just for a minute? His voice was subdued, his expensive suit hanging loosely on his frame. There's nothing to say, I replied. I lost everything today, he said. My home, my savings, my reputation. You lost those things long before today, I corrected him. Today just made it official. I made mistakes, but I never stopped loving you, he insisted. We could still… No, I cut him off. We couldn't. 10 years, Greta. That has to mean something. It did. That's why this hurts so much. He reached for my hand, but I stepped back. Your Honor found you responsible for financial fraud and domestic assault, Patricia reminded him, stepping between us. This conversation is inappropriate. I just want my wife back, Marcus said, his voice breaking. Ex-wife, I corrected. And what you want doesn't matter anymore. 6 months later, I sat on Diane's patio, watching the sunset with a glass of wine. Heard anything from him? She asked cautiously. He's still trying, I admitted. Emails, messages through friends. He sent flowers to my office last week. Persistent, Diane noted. Does any part of you miss him? I considered the question. I miss who I thought he was, That person never existed. What about the marina? Ever go back there? I smiled slightly. Actually, yes. I bought a boat. Diane choked on her wine. You what? Just a small one. Nothing fancy. I'm taking sailing lessons. From the woman who got seasick on the ferry? People change, I shrugged. Sometimes because they want to, sometimes because they have to. Are you happy, Greta? Diane asked seriously. Not yet, I admitted, but I'm getting there. One day at a time. Michael joined us, setting down a tray of appetizers. Good news. The last of Marcus's appeals was denied. It's officially over. To new beginnings, Diane proposed, raising her glass. And to finding out who we really are, I added, clinking my glass against hers. Later that evening, I stood at the railing of my small sailboat, ironically named Truthfinder, and watched the lights of the marina twinkle on. My phone buzzed with another message from Marcus. Without reading it, I blocked his number, then dropped the phone into my bag. Some betrayals can't be forgiven. Some wounds don't heal with apologies. Sometimes the only closure is the one you create for yourself. I started the engine and guided my boat out of the slip, heading for open water as the last light faded from the sky. Ahead of me stretched possibilities I'd never imagined when I was Marcus's wife. A life rebuilt on my terms, not defined by someone else's lies. Have you ever had to rebuild your life after betrayal? What helped you move forward? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about finding strength in difficult situations.